Good evening. Welcome to Columbia Heights Public Schools, Independent School District Number 13, special called meeting on Tuesday, January 7th, 2020. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask you to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you and welcome everybody. Laura, if you would, please roll call.
Mueller.
Here.
Severson.
Here.
Larkin.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Samurai.
Here.
Palmer. Here.
Thank you. Our mission statement, creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. Our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. And we'll do the approval of the agenda here. Tonight is our organizational meeting. Look for a motion to move that forward to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Molly? Who was right
Second.
behind her, Laura? Okay. Discussion? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay, so first thing for our organizational meeting is we are going to elect the different positions, offices for the school board. And in the past, what I have done, and we use our first Monday in January, I follow that. And I'll open nominations we'll start with the chair position, and then it goes to the vice chair and the other different offices. I'll ask for a nomination, I'll announce who that nomination is, I'll ask for other nominations, and I'll do that a total of 3 times, and then we'll close the nominations from there. And that's with each position. So if I sound like I'm repeating myself, it's because I am. So we'll start with school board chair, open nominations for board offices. Any board member be nominated for any office. A nomination does not require a second, and each office is voted on separately, which is what I was referencing for the nomination. So we'll start with nominations are now in order for office of the chair.
I'd like to go ahead. Nominate Natty Severson based on conversation last year at this time.
Okay. Natty Severson is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of the chair?
I'd also like to nominate Natty.
Okay. Natty's nominated again. Are there any other further nominations for office of chair? Okay, if there are no further nominations for office of the chair are closed. So now, at this point, because there's only one nomination, we could just white ballot it, but I think just for the sake of record purposes, Laura, I'll ask for a roll call on it, if you would, please.
Mueller.
Aye. Or do I say
Severson.
the name? Sorry.
I think name.
Natty.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Natty, guess I Natty.
Severson.
I don't know. Josh, where are you? What's the best way to do this? Huh?
For a person.
For the person. Okay, for the person.
Mueller.
Severson.
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 Larkin.
Severson.
Lewis.
Severson.
Samurai.
Severson.
Palmer. Severson.
Okay, very good. At this point, the chair is Natty Severson, so thank goodness she's left-handed.
It's
Slide
right
that
there.
over there.
That's all it takes, right there.
And
All
then,
right, awesome.
Danny
Well,
will-
hey, John's told me that he can really move a meeting along, so he's challenged me to get a meeting done. I said, there's no way on earth I'm ever going to be faster at delivering school board meetings than him, so I just want to set proper expectations. Hence, when we started a few minutes late, I said, this doesn't come off my time. So, yeah. Okay, so great. Now we're going to move on to the part of the meeting where we elect the vice chair. Nominations are now open for the office of vice chair. Do you have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Lauren Mueller.
All right, Lorian Mueller's been nominated. Any further nominations for the office of vice chair?
I'd also like to nominate Lorian.
All right, there's Lorian again. Any further nominations for the office of vice chair? Great. Just like the last time, we'll do the vote. It's easier for the record. So, Laura, please.
Samurai.
Mueller.
Lewis.
Mueller.
Larkin.
He went the other way, but he's confused. Mueller.
Severson.
Mueller.
Palmer. Mueller. And Mueller.
Mueller.
Okay. Just wanted to
right.
make sure you didn't have a chance of backing out of it.
So the office of vice chair has been filled by Lorian Mueller.
Thank you.
Yeah, fun times. So the board will now be asked to elect a clerk. Are there any nominations for the office of clerk?
Anybody interested?
Anyone interested?
Is that the one where you get a sign stuff?
Sign everything. That's the sign
Nominate
everything.
Molly Lewis.
Molly Lewis has been nominated for the office of clerk. Do we have any other nominations? Do we have any other nominations? Molly, do you have any comment on becoming the board clerk? I guess that's appropriate, right? You're good?
No comment.
No comment. No comment. All right.
Good.
Or
Sign
no
away.
comment.
I will sign away.
Sign stuff at the end.
Perfect. Remind me. Dawn.
There
got
should be a
this?
special pen that is given to the clerk.
You'll remind
They
me.
just said that, she said somebody needs to remind her at the end of the meetings to sign things, and I said, don't worry, Don will remind you.
You do, you do.
She'll
Okay,
like
good.
grab the back of your
Okay.
shirt on the way
Okay,
out.
then we're
Yeah. Yeah. All
Follow
right.
you home.
All right. Laura, if you wouldn't mind.
One time here. Mueller,
Lewis.
Severson,
Lewis.
Larkin,
Lewis.
Lewis,
Lewis.
Samurai,
Lewis.
Palmer, Lewis.
All right. Molly Lewis has been elected to the office of clerk. We'll do the same thing for the office of treasurer.
Who was treasurer last year?
We will open, who was treasurer last year?
Lorian.
Lorian for the last couple of years. So now we'll open nominations for the office of chair. Do we have any nominations?
Treasurer.
Treasurer, oh my, treasurer, thanks.
I'm going to nominate Hala Samurai.
Paula Samurai has been nominated. Any further nominations?
I would like to nominate Laura Palmer.
All right, now we have Hala Samurai and Laura. Any further nominations? All right, then can we have a
Let 'em talk about it
discussion?
real quick.
Yeah, we can have a discussion. What do you guys what are you thinking?
I just heard Hala say something.
Oh, she was, I said you can have it.
I said we'll just arm wrestle
Arm
for it.
wrestle,
You win.
You can have it.
Or you can. I mean, you haven't done this yet, have you?
Oh, I have it. I
You-
have.
you have?
I've done treasurer, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right,
All right.
I've heard enough, yeah.
I've done it before too, so.
All right, okay. Easier if you do it, or?
Should we do it?
You can still do it. Wait, who normally does the roll stuff? That's the
Now it's the clerk,
the
so it'd be
clerk.
Molly.
So Molly needs
Oh,
to do the
Molly.
roll call now. You need to do
Oh, right,
that. Because you're going to do the clerk, is that right? Yep.
yep.
So just start with
Go ahead.
Mueller.
Palmer.
Severson.
Palmer.
Larkin.
I'll stick with the roll. Hala.
Lewis. Palmer. Samurai.
Stain? I don't know.
Palmer.
I guess I'll do it, Palmer.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Is Laura Palmer for the office of treasurer. Never has there been
Highly
such
coveted.
a highly coveted job as
Oh,
treasurer.
yeah.
Laura,
Palmer. Oh,
Laura Palmer, yep. And that was the vote was one a Samurai, 4 Palmer, 1 abstain. All right. All right, those are the official chairs. Now we need to fill the position of parliamentarian, which in the previous year was Laura, and adopt the Roberts Rules of Order. Let's have a little discussion before we move the motion forward. Is anyone interested in becoming the parliamentarian this year, or Laura, do you want to stick with it, or?
Can't she hold both? Can she be parliamentarian and,
I think it's appointed.
okay, all right. I didn't know if it was considered an office.
Unless
position.
somebody wants
she's
to
there.
learn the role, parliamentarian.
I think it just makes sense
Yeah,
for all of us.
I'll do it.
Okay,
Laura?
so then the motion on the table, let me flip to this.
This is an appointment.
Yeah, it asks me though then to read a motion,
Do we have to,
because we have to
vote on it?
adopt the Roberts Rules of Order. So can I have a motion the motion would be to adopt Roberts Rule of Order newly revised. This is the Rules of Order for the School Board of Columbia Heights Public School District, Independent 13, except where modified by board policy, and appoint Laura Palmer as parliamentarian for 2020. Do we have a motion to move that forward?
So move.
Second.
John, Holla. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. All right. Next one we have is an appointment of the, meeting dates and times, sorry. So let's have a little discussion about the meeting dates and time before we move the motion forward, because the motion says the dates and times. So does anyone have any?
Chair Stevenson, if I can make a suggestion,
Yeah.
maybe in that packet, it actually goes into detail about, maybe if you just read that to
Wanna
everybody.
read
I
it?
think we know it, but for the record, read that piece
Sounds good.
there, and
Yep.
that can be the motion.
The motion. All right, sounds good. All right, so the motion is to declare that the meeting day and time for the regular school board meeting shall be the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, with the exception of July and December, in which the meeting would be on the third Tuesday and February, in which there would be no meeting on February 25th due to precinct caucus. It is recommended that the board set a meeting day and time that is convenient for the members of the board. It is also recommended that no new business shall be taken up by the school board after 10:45 p.m., except by unanimous consent of the board members. There will be the option of adding a work session. Work sessions have been scheduled the third Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. School board meetings will be held in the district community room. We have a motion to move that forward.
So moved.
Second? Molly, second?
Second.
Maureen?
This is where you ask for discussion.
Okay, this is where we ask for discussion. Any discussion on that?
I think it's pretty standard. It's what we've done every year. You know, there's always a possibility of an addition of a meeting here or there, or even the deletion of a meeting. I know last year when we were dealing with our school stuff, with the bond and stuff, as far as we had, I want to say it was July, that we ended up having a meeting to get some stuff approved, to get bids taken care of, things like that. So this in general is what's been our fixed schedule, understanding that it can change, so.
I think that it's better to keep things pretty standard. That makes it easier for the public to participate too, rather than moving board meetings, so. I think we're all pretty well established with this.
Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right. The next thing on the agenda is salaries and per diem for board members and board officers.
What about board representatives first?
Oh, man. Yes, board, I scratched that off last time. I did it, sorry.
That's all right.
Hey, give me some, I'm getting there, guys, I'm getting there. Board representatives. So the board will be asked to approve and appoint board representatives to standing committees. Did y'all in your board packet on Friday received last year's things? And we'll have a discussion before we read it, right? Because we want to read the motion correct with all the correct names this time.
Yep,
right?
so, yeah.
Okay. So this is where we appoint the MSBA, EXU, different things like that. I think, can you see all those in the board packet on your computer?
Yep.
All right. So I don't know if we just want to kind of go down that list there and do those appointments, beginning with MSBA. It looks like last year it was Hala. Hala, is that something you're still interested in doing, or will other people have interest in that?
If no one's interested, I can keep it.
Anybody else?
I'm good with that.
I'm great with that. All right, we'll keep that one as Hala. EXU, Lauren, you've done that in the past.
I would like to continue to do that if
Okay.
there isn't anybody who has interest.
I'm good. All right, stick with Lorian. Minnesota State High School League, that was Molly last year. That's the one meeting a year, and you get the magazine and kind of keep up on the happenings, right? Yeah,
The magazine.
yeah. You get the magazine. I always liked the magazine when I did it.
But
Yeah.
I'm good with keeping it. It's up to you guys, though, if someone else wants to.
Anybody else? All right. Molly. District 916, Intermediate School District 916 board member. In the past several years, it's been Laura. Anybody else interested in filling that role?
My recommendation is that Laura continues to fill that role if she would like to. She's been an excellent board member representative for us.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. I
Definitely,
love how you always bring us back some notes on what happened. I appreciate that attention.
Good stuff happening over there. There really is.
It's been-
And it's been very, I think, very beneficial for the district.
We have our ties meeting over at
The new
the new
Capitol.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Cora, yeah, Cora, and it's,
Beautiful
yep.
building.
All right, so we'll keep Laura on as board for 9/16. All right, and then we have the city liaison roles. First one is Columbia Heights. That one's been Lorian. Is that something you're interested in? Somebody else interested in?
I would really like to continue that role for another year if possible, but if anybody has any thoughts.
I support that.
I would
I
encourage
think
it, I
she's been
think. And we've
amazing.
just worked really hard last year to establish, you know, our
Yeah.
thoughts and where we looking for that position to be with them and then back to us. So, and I know I heard some good things about Lorian last year with that, so I would encourage that.
Yeah.
if everybody
You've
look
been
at
an incredibly good advocate over there, and I would really love to see you continue in that role.
Thank you.
It seemed like in our joint meeting too, they appreciated your presence at the meetings and stuff like that too, so.
Thank you.
All right. Lorian. City of Fridley, that's been Molly. Anybody else feeling Fridley? Molly, want to stick with Fridley?
It's a little bit different. It's not like the Columbia Heights one, so anyone can take it, leave it, whatever.
I'll give it a run.
You do live in Fridley.
I do. If
All right,
everybody's
now
okay
let's,
with it, I'll
let's,
give it a
let's
run.
do John on that one. John. All right, City of Hilltop. Hala, how's that been going?
I can continue that.
Okay.
Nobody else wants it.
Anybody else want that?
My schedule doesn't allow most of these city board meetings.
Because of the evenings?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Hala. All right, the Subcommittee on Policy. That's me now, I hear, if you guys,
Write it down, I will not be.
John has decided he would rather not do that. So I would like to be a part of that again, if you guys are all okay with that.
I think it's
Then we-
important- I think that it's important that the chair is there to run the meeting. So
Yep.
if you're able to, I think that'd be good.
Yep, I actually like the meetings. I know they're not your favorite, but,
I'm not saying yes tonight, I can tell you that.
but right now it looks like it was Molly and Laura. Are there other people who want to do the policy meetings? They typically start at 5, before regular board meetings, once a month-ish, right?
And I would certainly encourage those that want to be doing it, but one of the things that we've tried to do in the past is mix it up for, you know, and again, I don't know what your schedule's like to be able to do it or not, but it would be, you know, in hollow this year, or whatever. I mean, it's just, there's been conversations about if one half of the board is doing the policy subcommittee stuff one year, then the next year I flip it over to the other people. So I don't want to take something away from anybody. That's kind of been what we've tried to do in the past, so, but.
I will comment that I have not served on this committee, and I would like to, but I cannot commit to a 5 PM meeting time. So that's a real
And they
struggle
usually
for
are
me.
at 5, right? Yeah.
So that's been that has been my ongoing challenge with my work schedule.
How about
And-
others?
And I did it for 2 years, I think 2 or 3 years, and I would be interested in doing it again, but right now with my work schedule, 5 o'clock is very hard to commit to.
Put it down.
I think we're down to just us three. I'd love to do it.
Laura, and we all know
I
Laura's
love
joy for policy.
I love the policy.
Yeah, policy's fun.
I don't know that I'd say I'll love to do it, but I'll be there.
You'll be there. All right, Molly's in. All
Can I
right.
ask, and this wasn't something that was brought up, is it something that if you're not on the committee, would I be able to attend if there's a meeting I can make, or can you not attend if
I
you're
think
not on
we
the
would be
subcommittee?
worried about a quorum.
Creating a forum.
Quorum,
yep,
so we
okay,
would keep
yep.
it at 3 or less.
You're right,
Right.
okay, thank you.
I think you could sub. Could
I
we
was like, if
sub?
anybody needs a sub,
That works too.
let me know.
Yep.
Well, if you're able
How
to
often?
make it, text me.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I usually have Tuesdays.
'Cause I
off,
was-
you
I'd
know,
sub
but
for
if
you.
can make it,
Yep.
you know, if you
Okay.
want to step in, that would be great.
Thank you.
All right.
You got all this done? And my name is not on there, right?
It is. I think I see it. AMSD, that's something I've been doing the last couple of years. I actually really enjoy it, and I have Fridays off, which makes it easy, but if somebody else wants to do it, you definitely can.
What time are those meetings?
7 a.m. to about 8:30, I would say sometimes 9 Fridays. It's actually very interesting. It's all the legislative platform and lots of state representatives come in and talk. So if it's something somebody else wants to do, it's a great learning experience. I would pass it on, but if nobody else wants to do Fridays, I can do it. Yeah, except this month. This Friday is it, right? Yeah.
I would totally want it if it weren't Friday mornings.
Yeah, you would like it a lot, I think. Yeah. You're
Thank you.
good? I actually like it.
It is.
Yeah.
They feed you too, so.
If you're not gonna go sometime, let me know.
Oh, okay, yeah, sounds good. All right, and then the business council. John, is that something you're still interested in continuing with?
Happy to hang on to it unless somebody else is. They're good meetings. I think they're quarterly. Some good information
Isn't the
passed.
the business council used to be on the same day as the AMSD?
I don't know. I guess I don't recall that because maybe. I just know it's on a Friday. It's a Friday morning.
I remember
and
I
it's
used to
quarterly.
be able to do either one of those meetings, and I just can't anymore.
Yeah, I don't recall. The actual date, so
All right, I'm gonna just
I'll just
ask
take it.
for a motion then to move forward with the MSBA appointment to Hala, the XU appointment to Lorien, the High School League appointment to Molly, 916 Board to Laura, City of Columbia Heights to Lorien, City of Fridley to John, City of Hilltop to Hala, School Board Subcommittee on Policy, Natty, Laura, and Molly, AMSD, Natty, and the Columbia Heights Business Council to John. We have a motion to move that forward.
So moved.
Molly?
Second.
John, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Did we do that one right? Did that? Good? All right. All right, so now we do the building liaisons for the school buildings. Trying to do the rotation. Those are also listed there, yeah? You guys still have those?
Yep.
All right, so we stay in our effective roles that we're in currently until the end of the school year, and then we would be selecting for the next school year. So those would begin
July 1st.
July 1st. So over the course of the summer, we don't need to repick for this year, but just for the next school year. Does anybody have, before we move that forward, does anyone have any like specific buildings they'd be interested in working with? I think you would remember better than anyone what you've had and what you haven't.
I'd like to stay with the high school.
Oh, you'd like to stay at the high school?
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone would anyone prefer to have the high school, or are we good with that? All right. Other people have any preferences?
I would like to do the family center, if at all possible, because I have done all of the other ones except the high school.
Okay. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I would like to do Valley View, actually,
All right.
the one school I'm not. as-
Haven't done that one yet?
Yeah, yep.
All right, we've got Columbia Academy, Highland, and North Park.
Got a preference?
I'd like I think Columbia Academy,
Okay.
yeah.
And you can either have North Park, or I can stick with it through the construction here, or what would you prefer?
It doesn't matter. I'll take North Park. I haven't been there for a
All
while.
right.
If you're okay with that.
That's great. Get all the fun construction updates. Jeff will give you the big tours. And I get Highland. Fun. All right, so we have a motion to approve the school board liaisons for July 2020 to June 30th, 2021. And that is Columbia, the high school with Hala, Columbia Academy, Laura, Highland, Natty, North Park, John, Valley View, Molly, and the Family Center, Lorien. We have a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Lorien, second.
Second.
Laura, any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. We have some liaisons. Great. The next one is salaries and per diem for board members and officers. So this is salaries and per diem for board members and board officers will be reviewed, and amounts for 2020 will be set by the board. I'm going to read the motion as it stands right now. It says, the motion is to set the 2020 salary for all board members at $500 per month, to establish additional compensation for board officers as follows: Chair, $100 per month, and furthermore, that all members of the board may receive per diem payments over salaries established by the Board of Education for meetings of NSBA, MSBA, mediation sessions, and such other meetings as may be approved by the board, and which take the members away from his or her regular obligations of the regular workday, or which are held on Saturday or Sunday. Said compensation for the per diem payment to be $50 per day for up to 4 hours, and $100 per day in excess of 4 hours. Do we have a motion to move that forward? John, second.
Second.
Laura, discussion? Are we comfortable with this amount? Let's see.
I mean, it's been this amount. I know we've had some pretty long discussions in the past and looked at how these numbers compare with our neighboring districts and based on kind of the per meeting breakdown, and it seems like this is fairly comparable, so.
Other thoughts? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right. Brian, designation of depositories.
Okay, Chair Severson, members of the board. So the first item that I have here is recommendation of depositories. The resolution is included in attachment. The only real change from last year is we had to add a bank for the bonds that we sold. So that's really the only change. I guess Morgan Stanley did remove two because we no longer, I think it's Morgan Stanley, we no longer use them. But other than that, our financial institutions are staying the same.
Motion second.
All right. Should I read the
I do a
resolution?
motion second, read it.
Read it,
put on the
okay.
table, and then open it up for discussion.
All right. Do we have a motion to move this forward?
So moved.
Second.
Hala, I'll give Hala John seconds. Sorry, you're out. All right. So the resolution is as follows. Be it resolved that the following be designated as depositories for certain monies of this school district, and as such are authorized and directed to honor and/or pay checks or orders when signed by the treasurer and the clerk for the withdrawal of or transfer of funds on deposit in said bank in whatever form: Bank of America, U.S. Bank, Northeast Bank, Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund Plus, Wells Fargo, Barrel-Lachey Lands Bank, something like that, Landis Bank. Be it further resolved that the following investment brokers are hereby authorized and directed to honor orders when signed by the treasurer and the clerk for the withdrawal or transfer of funds on deposit in said instructions in whatever form: PMA Financial Network, Bayer-Landis Bank. Be it further resolved that in case such deposits in the designated bank shall at any time exceed $250,000, said depository shall immediately furnish bond or securities in lieu of bond according to law, and the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, Minnesota, or any of the aforementioned depositories are hereby designated as the place for the safekeeping of all securities finished in lieu of such bond. Discussion?
Other than the addition of the bank, that's what we do every year to make sure our monies go where they're supposed to.
All right, any other questions? All right, it is a resolution, Molly, so we need a roll call vote.
Mueller,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Larkin,
Aye.
Lewis, aye. Samurai,
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Resolution carries. Do you say resolution? Motion carries. That's a motion or two, I guess. All the learning. All right. Designation of electronic transfer designees.
Legal counsel first. Oh,
Pardon me?
okay. I'm sorry, you're right. My
All
bad.
right, hit us.
All right.
I was ahead of you.
Chair Severson, members of the board, before you for action and approval, we're looking for approval for board for appointed designees for processing electronic transfers. And this past year, it was Director of Finance Denise Sundstrom and our Controller Paula Steele, and we're looking to have approval from the board to continue those two people, be able to move money around and make payments.
All right, so the motion is to appoint Denise Sundstrom and Paula Steele as designees in processing electronic transfers. Could I have a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Lorian, second.
Second.
Molly? Any discussion? Once again, this is just an annual thing we do.
Annual thing,
Okay.
and something that may have to come back if positions change, but it's annually done.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. Hit it. This one is designation of legal counsel and contracts.
Chair Severson, members of the board, we're seeking approval for appointing the designees as legal counsel as noted in the motion that you have in your packet. Karen Keppel, Joseph Langle, and others of Ratwick, Rozak, and Maloney, and Thomas Deans of Knutson, Flynn, and Deans.
All right, do we have a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Laura, second.
Second.
Hala. Discussion. For people watching, we have different attorneys for different kinds of things. Not all
Correct.
attorneys handle all the
Correct.
legal matters. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. This one's me. All right, the board will be asked to appoint a designee as election clerk. This designee would be Dawn Hoyam, and she has been trained and served in this position since 2007. Hold on. We have a motion to move that forward.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Lorian, second.
Second.
Laura, any discussion?
Again, just it's something we have to do at the beginning of every year. Dawn has been doing it for, obviously, at least a couple of years, so.
And thank you, Dawn, for doing
Thank
it as long
you.
as you have and as well as you have.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. All right. Kristen, thank you.
Good evening, Chair Severson, members of the board. This evening, I come before you with the agenda item of voting on the designation of the official newspaper. We did do a posting about this. There are 3 papers that cover all or part of our school district, 2 newspapers, the Northeaster and also the Life, formerly known as the Sun Focus, submitted. And because of both the pricing, the coverage in terms of covering our school district's communities, and also the frequency of distribution, it is a recommendation that the Life be considered as the designated official newspaper for our school district.
All right. Do we have a motion to move that forward?
So move.
John?
Second.
Paula? All right, discussion, questions?
I have a question. Do you have more information regarding like those categories in terms of how they differ in terms of coverage and publication distribution?
Yes. So the Northeaster covers Columbia Heights and Hilltop, but does not cover Fridley. And whereas the Life covers all 3 communities that we serve. And the Northeaster's distribution is twice per month. The Life's is weekly. And then there's pricing based on columns and all of that. I don't have that with me, but I could pull that up on my computer if you'd like me to read that to you. But there was a difference in the pricing, and the Life's was less expensive.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I don't need you to
Okay.
get that. I think with the distribution serving all of our population, and then the amount of publications per month, and then I think it's the added bonus that the cost works out well, Jim.
Sure.
So, thank
Do
you.
we know anything about if they can serve Huset without it being requested? There was some issue about that in the past.
That was not mentioned in either of the submissions. So our recommendation is solely based on the content of information that both newspapers submitted.
I missed the first part of your question.
The Huset area, they don't always get it.
The townhomes surrounding
Townhomes, yeah.
Huset there.
Yeah.
It's a request only, or is it?
Yeah, but then even sometimes when people request it, they don't get it, and it's just a murky thing, but still, the Life seems like the better choice.
More discussion, questions? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. All right. I guess that adjourns our meeting. There's no board topics tonight, so we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:12 PM.